What's going on, you guys? If you don't already know me, my name is Eddie Lusk. I'm an IFBB Classic Physique Pro, Physique Transformation Specialist, and am the owner and founder of a startup luxury handbag company called Aurelium. You guys are going to hear a ton about that. If you haven't already, don't worry about it. All the stuff is in the description below, so check it out. But I wanted to get on here real quick and just talk to you guys for a second. I was asked a really interesting question the other day by someone really important to me. And I've surprisingly actually never been asked this question before, or at least in my knowledge, I've never been asked the question before. And I think that I think the answer is really relevant to you young men out there who follow me and who kind of look up to me for, motivation and inspiration and all that. But the question was, why do you do this to yourself? Why do you bodybuild? Why do you put yourself through the suffering that is a part of this intense sport, this intense lifestyle? And not only that, in conjunction with everything else that you're doing with training the clients and running the training business, with the handbag business, with everything else that I have going on. And I really sat and I thought about that for a second, and the answer that I came up with was that bodybuilding is my foundation. It's the bedrock that I build everything else on. It's who I am at my core that allows me to be who I can be in everything else, right? It's essentially how Alex Hormozy put it in one of his videos. It's my quest. It's what gave me direction as a young 20-something-year-old to be able to go after something, to be able to instill the habits of discipline that I follow in everything else that I do as well, right? I think that every young man should have a quest. I think that if you're in your 20s right now, which a lot of you guys are, I think that a lot of you guys are struggling with finding direction, struggling with trying to figure out where you want to go with life, struggling with trying to figure out how to juggle all the things that you have access to right now. And I'm here to tell you that you just need to find that thing, find that quest, find that meaning. And you might be asking yourself, well, how do I find that meaning? Just try different things. Go after everything. You know what I mean? Start out in the gym. Start going to the gym consistently. Start putting together structured workouts. Start getting your diet in check. Start looking better for you. You know what I mean? That will give you a direction. That will establish habits in your life that you can learn to transition into everything else. So I would always tell every young man, if you're directionless, start in the gym. You may not even like it at first. You may hate it, and that's okay, because you will reach a point in life where you have to do things that you don't want to do to have the things and be the person that you do want to have and do want to be, right? So how do you establish discipline, not only in the gym, but anywhere? It's from that quest. It's from that direction. I think that discipline is a skill. I wholeheartedly believe that discipline is a skill that can be learned, that can be honed, that can be applied, and can be tweaked to excellence, right? But if you have no reason to have that discipline, why would you practice being disciplined? How are you practicing being disciplined when you have nothing to be disciplined about or for? That's where that quest comes in. That's where that foundation comes in. That's where that hero's journey comes in. When you have the quest, forces the discipline. The journey forces you to consistently take the actions necessary to move forward. That is discipline. The journey, the goal itself forces you to create the discipline necessary to achieve it. And eventually you will find something that you enjoy, that you love, that you vibe with, that will force you to discipline yourself to go after it, right? And I think that as young men, we all need that. I think that as men, it's important for us to have something that we're shooting for. Greg Lavakia, the CEO and owner of Bloom Energy, he calls it go for your moonshot. Go for your goal. Go for the biggest thing you can possibly think of. My life started to change when I started to think bigger, when I started to think out of my current reality, when I started going after things that people would say were impossible. Becoming a pro bodybuilder. A lot of people thought that would be impossible. Look at me now. Building this physique transformation company bigger to what it is now. A lot of people think that working for yourself is completely impossible. I'm currently doing it, and yes, there's struggles, but I've taken the discipline from bodybuilding and applied it to other areas. Building a luxury handbag company. Most people would look at me and say, there's no way you can do that. You're a bodybuilder, man. You're in the fitness industry. You're established in fitness. Why are you trying to do something completely different? Because it's another moonshot. Because it's another big opportunity. Because it's something else that I can learn, that I can be passionate about, that I can apply my creativity to and be successful at it. Because I already have the discipline from my foundation, from my quest of bodybuilding, and I can apply it over here to something else. I already know that it can work because I did it here and I'm doing it here. Why would it not work here? It's the same principles, right? Business is just another quest. It's another foundation. And a lot of this stuff, as much conflicting information as you get on the internet now, and from other people, and taking advice from people who have never been where you're trying to go is the worst idea ever, so just don't do it. I'm not going to get into that. There's other videos about that you can watch. Just don't do it. But all of this stuff really is kind of connected, okay? Go for your moonshot. Go for that big thing. I'm going to ask you young men right now, to your face or through the camera. If there was something that you knew you could succeed at, that you knew you would succeed at, you knew that if I did this thing for 365 days straight, or for 6 months straight, or for 2 years straight, whatever that time frame or that thing is, who would you be today? What would you do today? What different action would you take today? Who would you become? What sort of man would you be? What were the actions that you took right now to go after that thing? If you knew that you couldn't fail, what would you do? If you knew that in 365 days, you could drive whatever car you wanted to drive, you can live wherever you want to live, you can do whatever you want to do on your own time, what would be that thing? That's your moonshot. That's your big goal. That's your quest. That's your hero's journey. That's your foundation. That's your discipline. So if you're in your 20s right now and you're sitting at home, whether you live alone, whether you're in college, whether you live with mom and dad, whether you're still in high school trying to figure out what you want to do, ask yourself, if there was something that I knew that I would succeed at 100%, what would I do today to achieve that thing? And not even something. If there's something that I want right now, and I knew without a shadow of a doubt that in 365 days, that in 6 months, I will achieve this thing, or however long it takes, and I knew that, I knew it. It was already told to me. What would I do differently as soon as I turn this video off to take one step forward to that, and then another step, and then another step, and then be willing to do what was necessary to establish the discipline, to establish the habits, to take the actions, to fight against the obstacles, to achieve that thing? That's what you need to ask yourself. And use your 20s. Use this time that you have to pour yourself into that thing. Don't worry about what your buddies are doing. Don't worry about what the rest of your family is doing. I want you to be successful. Hell, I want to be successful. I'm still working towards my goals in many different fields. But I'm sitting here telling you today because I went for my moonshot in my 20s in bodybuilding, and it's paying off. I see it every single day. I feel it every single day. Hell, by the time you guys see this next week, I'll be in peak week for the Atlanta Pro. I mean, come on, so just go after it. Who knows? Maybe you could be the next famous influencer. Maybe you could be the next multimillionaire. Maybe you could be the next 20-year-old SaaS startup who built $1 billion company. Who knows? But somewhere deep down, that answer is in there. And I implore you to find it. Again, I'm Eddie Lust, IFBB Classic Physique Pro, professional physique transformation coach, and owner and founder of Aurelium, the startup luxury leather goods brand that's about to hit the market and go crazy. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope that this did something for you. And if you're in your 20s, shoot me a message and tell me what it is that your moonshot looks like. Like, comment, subscribe on the video. I'll talk to you guys soon.